Hey. Go. See if anybody comes in here. CPAP is the first one. Congratulations, Kevin and Ollie. Jim Jarena, Food Mooch, Derek, Mr. Nice Guy Davis, Jonathan Wheeler, Jim Jarena, what's up? Jonathan Wheeler. Good evening. Good evening. Daniel Nottingham, what's up? Diesel 529, what's up? Mr. Berger, how's the godson this evening? Hope all is well. Glad to see my moderators in here. Stu Manchu, what's up? Frank Pro. Oh, any of you guys working this weekend? Memorial Day is always kind of frustrating because there's a lot of traffic. Pale Rider, what's up? Burger's working, Pale Rider's working. Dana Nottingham, Nittany Lion. Kevin is speaking some funky language. Everybody's working. Everybody's working except CPAP and me. Derek just parked. Jonathan Houston. You're going home tomorrow. Nope, hopefully by mid-June. Yeah. And Cops, yeah. Sapon J, what's up? Finally enjoying some home time with the kiddos. Good deal, Kevin, good deal. TK is working. He's always working. Is he still out west? I'll be honest with you, I'm still on Periscope. I just don't Periscope anymore, and I only follow like 5 people. TK, Jeffrey Like, and Pale Rider. That's it. Some famous people, they don't care about me. 1275 for 286 miles. Dang, CPAP, that's pretty good. Working on a honeydew list for the wife. It's her birthday. Well, tell your wife happy birthday, Stu. I actually went camping the other day. Had a pretty good time out there. My ankle is not my friend, but, you know, we did all right. What's with the gat? Oh. Does anyone still have MySpace? My MySpace, Frank, is still out there. I had one for the band and one for me. And I haven't logged into it in a long time. I think I still got the passwords written down. And I downloaded their app, but they were trying really hard to be like Facebook. You know, too little, too late. And, yeah, it was not much going on. So, the cool thing about MySpace is, like, you could go to someone's profile, and it would play music. Like if you wanted your profile song. I wish Facebook had that. Use Periscope Live music, but not in the last year or two, says Jim. Tom is your friend. So, James, it's not a real gun. It's an airsoft gun. Big road, little truck, trucking. What's up? Big road, little truck, trucking. I gotta remember to say that right. Daniel Adami's in the house, finally. And there's a rumor that Pale Rider is going to go live after me, so there's that. We all look forward to Pale Rider glad he's feeling better. He decided to eat some bad food, and food did not agree with him. So, you know, it's interesting, these rate per mile or rate Facebook pages, right? Here, hey Gear Grabber, what's up? And you're in Paul's Valley, cool. Kevin says I had a honeydew list too. Told her that was a great list of plans for her to complete since I got to stay out 6 weeks or so at a time to support her daughter and her grandkid. Oh, that didn't probably cause an argument, did it? Steve Berger. Yeah, Pale Rider had... See, I wasn't going to mention them because I don't want to give him any free publicity. Other Trucker James Best, what's up? So, the common theme of the things that I've been seeing on these Facebook rate pages is that it's always the same argument. There's this eternal struggle, this infinite struggle of what's good, what's bad. And it's interesting to me to see how people take things out of context. For example, I posted on Trucker Rates and Lanes about the upcoming... First I used the word hurricane, and I was corrected on that. This is a baby storm. It's not even hurricane. Quit watching TV. So I switched the word to storm. There's a storm coming. And what do you feel? How do you feel about the rates? Because last summer they went through the roof because of the hurricane season. Do you feel that the same thing will happen this year if something happens? And another guy was all like, oh man, you know, you guys need to quit wishing death of people and blah, blah. You know, like he made it sound like we're all taking advantage of the situation for the wrong reasons. And completely missing the point that I was trying to make and the question that I had brought up. It's not like I was on there going, oh man, cool man, a hurricane, I'm gonna get some $5 mile freight, yeah. No, I wasn't doing that at all. It was just like, what do you guys feel? Do you think that the rates will go through the roof again this year if the hurricane season is active? That's pretty much all I said. And there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of people treat me like I'm an idiot. Like, oh, it always goes up during, you know, catastrophes. Okay, so that was not the question I asked, though. I asked, do you feel that the brokers are more prepared this year for that? So, now Daniel Adami. Oh, wrong one. CPAP, Alberto coming. Is Alberto a hurricane or is it still a tropical storm? Not that it matters. It's going to create a lot of rain. So, might drive up rates. And it's not like I'm salivating at the fact that these hurricanes are going to bring up the rates. It's just, I just brought up a subject, and like there were many people that took that the wrong way. And that's the problem with social media, is that people come to conclusions. Like for example, there's a new YouTube channel I discovered. And it's called Police Activity. Okay? I was watching a bunch of their videos this morning. And the comments are just like really amazing, like how stupid people are. You know? Like to the point that you wonder if they're being sarcastic. Sorry, Daniel Adami. Jonathan, the storm's supposed to hit the Gulf Coast around the Florida Panhandle and go straight north. I think the widest area of the last part of rain is going to hit like the Missouri Boot Heel. Kevin says, tropical storm warning here at the house. Supposed to pick up some taters locally Monday while it is hitting. Good luck to you, Kevin. Jim says it's a specific and valid question. How have they performed in the past? And I know that last summer, the first hurricanes were hitting at the end of GATS because it was even affecting the freight in Dallas because that storm was supposed to track almost as far north as Dallas, Texas. And that's when Houston got, hammered and had like massive flooding. And I remember everybody was just getting these crazy rates. And then there was that where there was 3 storms at once, like one right after each other. And what that did is there were so many trucks doing FEMA loads that it created this vacuum in just the regular stuff. And so everybody was benefiting. Usually what I've seen, especially like when I was at Landstar, is that the people that were connected to the FEMA stuff, they scored big. I mean, the numbers I heard of drivers making during Katrina was phenomenal. And usually that was it. But those 3 storms created such a capacity change that everybody benefited. Just to get a load from, say, Pennsylvania to Illinois, you're getting good money because there's just no trucks to do it because they were all south, So the only good thing about Facebook is the groups. I find myself interacting more with people on groups than personal friends. I guess I'm very intolerant of different points of views. I just kind of read it all and laugh. Very rarely do I post on a rate page. On the rate per mile masters, they usually don't approve my posts, so I don't post on there. But there's a lot of good information on there. And then, so I thought I'd try my hand on just to create a subject on the rates and lanes. And of course, you're dealing with different levels of intelligence. And a lot of arguments, both in and out of, both with trucking and stuff outside of trucking, especially on Facebook, a lot of arguments are insignificant to the actual topic. Now, another thing I read that was interesting to me was if there's supposed to be a bill that if it passes, that all companies with 10 trucks or under will be exempt from the ELD mandate. That's a game changer for everybody. However, the scrutiny of those small companies will be through the roof if you're going through a weigh station. I'm not camping now, Steve Berger. Silly. James Best, that was the rumor on some of those loads. Not wishing for a hurricane, but if it does hit and rates spike, I'll sure take advantage of the rates. Right. Because, we're in a situation where we're needed. And there were some brokers that were actually accusing drivers of price gouging during that time. And not realizing that, like what someone else brought up, forgive me for forgetting who it was, but someone brought up that when you go into a hurricane area, you better get round trip money because you're probably not going to get anything out. And then we deal with FEMA loads here in the Midwest during tornado season as well. Loads of water, loads of building supplies, that kind of thing. Mike Mentor, what's up? Right, Daniel, that was kind of a fluke, and I don't think anything like that will happen this year, but, hey guy, how's the ankle? I haven't been able to watch for a while, says Ralph Reynolds, but I will get back in the swing of things. I hope that you're doing well. Be good if you can. My ankle's doing good. I can't like go hiking yet or anything. Tomorrow there's a lot of walking being planned, so we'll see how it handles. It swells up when the weather turns bad, so my feet look mutant for a while. It just swells up, but other than that, I'm just extra careful when I get it out of the truck. Doesn't hurt to use a clutch, so that's good. I guess I'm lucky. I don't give a rip if people like my opinion or not. That's kind of the thing, Gear Grabber. I don't invest a whole lot of emotion into these, Facebook posts. And then also YouTube has kind of gotten like that, like the whole old truck versus new truck, and factoring seems to be the new argument. I think Kevin Rutherford's been bringing it up a lot in the Facebook groups, and that's another one of those eternal arguments. And everybody knows my stand on factoring, because factoring benefits me because of my company. And what works for me may not work for the guy next door. So I don't get emotionally invested in that kind of thing, because to me there's too many things to worry about. There's too many things in trucking that you should be stressed about. And someone's opinion on Facebook or someone's opinion on certain things on YouTube just doesn't matter to me, Like, there are so many people emotionally invested on what kind of truck Will got, or what kind of truck Matt got, and what their miles per gallon is, and to me, I don't care, because those are two different business models. So why should I get upset if Will got a truck that has low fuel mileage? That doesn't affect me. If he wants to pay the extra fuel to run his truck, that's fine. If Matt wants to pay that big payment for his brand new Volvo, that's fine. That's their deal. That's not mine. So what that does is, when you release yourself from the emotional attachment of all these different things, you're a much happier person. I know people, my wife included, that have gotten off Facebook, and they're much happier because of it. Because in the end, this emotional attachment to things that really don't matter to you, that just poisons the well. That just kind of poisons your inner core. Yeah, Burger. The DOT blitz coming up is hours of service. They want to weed out these bad ELD systems, and I'm thankful that we have a good one. Thank you, Jim. Right, Jim, I agree. I think people just like the bitch because they were bored. Gear Grabber, exactly. Always going to have people who like this and don't like that. Everyone has their opinions, but you do what works for you and good enough. I agree, Screaming Demon. The everlasting puppy joke. People think that bringing other people down makes themselves feel better. Yeah, I had a guy message or reply to my last live feed last weekend. He just now put up a reply. Said I needed to lose weight. Wow, genius. Thanks. You feel better for telling me that? So, okay. Thank you, Captain Obvious. I think I even mentioned that I need to lose weight in that video. I've never sat there and said, oh, I don't want to lose weight, or I don't need to lose weight. I had sub from those guys 6 months ago, says CPAP, and it's great not to get pulled into the drama. We all got enough drama in life. I'm still subscribed to everybody. I just don't, like, oh man, the new so-and-so video's out, I gotta watch, I don't jump at every live feed that they do. Daniel says, I got inspected the other day. All the cop wanted to see was the graph and how much time I had left. Daniel, that's usually what they do. I mean, they usually save the fine details for the audits. But the majority of the time, they're just going to check those big clocks, the 70, the 14, and the 11, and the 8. So, and depending on their quota, some will target the guys with Omnitrax, and they can tell with the stickers. And then the others are going to target the ones that like are not Omnitrax, because they know that Omnitrax is the oldest one out there. It's easy to read. They all have dealt with that. So, unless they want to scrutinize, they're not going to look deep, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but they're not going to look deep at, like, did you go off duty at the Shiver, stuff like that. So, that's why people suck. Nobody can just be happy for anyone anymore, support anyone, because it's the right thing to do. Burger, that's why I like Big Rich. He's a good guy about that. He wants everybody to succeed. And, he's Jeffrey likes the same way. He wants everybody to gain as much knowledge as possible so they can be successful. And people always want to rain on your parade. They always want to, it's like, I remember it was on the CB radio, and somebody was just griping and griping and griping. So finally I got on the CB, and I was like, it must suck to be in your life. He's like, why do you say that? It's like, well, all you're going to do, because he was downing another driver, It's like, oh, all you do is, like, gripe about this and gripe about that and belittle every driver that doesn't meet to your standards. That must be a miserable existence. He's like, well, I'm actually pretty successful, and I did this, and you start listing all his accomplishments, right? I'm like, well, that's great. Then how come you can't keep your mouth shut and stop belittling people? That shows me a sign of misery. And in it, then there wasn't much said after that, Your grammar, you need to lose weight too. Right, Big Road. I rarely put my opinion out there because I know nobody cares. There are people that genuinely care, but for the most part, I don't get emotionally involved in other people's opinions. Can they see that stain on the running board, or do they climb the passenger seat and push buttons? Jim, it goes both ways. I've had DOT officers want a full printout at the scale, and then I've had DOT officers just want to look at the board. And there's one time I got pulled over in North Carolina, and this is when e-logs were new, and we were one of the first companies on them. I showed him the graph and explained it. He's like, wow, you did a very good job of explaining that. And I think after that he cut me some slack. It was going to go from a full, let's get underneath with the creeper to, okay, I'm just going to check your paperwork on the side of the road and call it a day. Because he was originally mad at me because I didn't pull over in the rest area like he wanted me to, because I wasn't putting two and two together. And then he yelled at me for not pulling over in the rest area. So we go into a wider area, and he was like, I apologized to him, and he's like, well, just show me your clock. And I showed him. He's like, and I explained to him, nicely. He's like, okay, well, that's actually the best description someone has given me. You know what? Let me check your paperwork, and I'll let you go. And he did, So they will during the 72-hour event. Yeah, I imagine Gear Grabber. So I'm going to make sure all my ducks are lined up in a row. And rates will actually go up during that week because a lot of people are going to take that time off. A lot of people take time off during the Blitz. Shadow Wolf says, Snore, just got in here, no notification, you're live. I know my notification went off on my other phone. Yeah, that's why we've got 38 people and not a bunch of trolls. I want people to succeed too, unless it's someone I hate, then I can care less. I'm Jonathan Houston. I'm thinking about going to do oversized for a company. What do you think about oversized? Do you know if it's worth the time? Jonathan, I've talked to a Landstar guy that was heavy haul, oversized. He makes money. I would want to do that on a percentage rate. He makes money. And you basically only have from sun up to sundown. And to run, you got to run a lot of back roads, get around some of the stuff on the interstates. It's a little bit more stressful, but you are paid well for it. And if you are watching this, if someone's watching this and you're not getting paid well for oversized, leave that company, because there is the real money. You know, some of these flatbed companies won't even let you touch oversized until you've had so many years of experience. But I know a guy that probably makes more money in a week than I do a month, just running heavy haul with very little miles. So Snorlord, I always hear guys say that they should take their settlements and bank the spare cash. I never hear if anyone has talked with their accountant, financial planner about kicking cash into a retirement plan. I think that a lot of people don't think about retirement. I know CPAP had a really good video about investing money. And most owner operators, you know, of course, we're not taking out Social Security, so, you know, that's up to the person. But what a lot of people get trapped into, especially lease operators, is that, oh man, they see these big paychecks and they don't take out the money for taxes. They don't take out the, you know, money for retirement, and not realizing that that's an important thing. And, you know, because we're all tied up in trying to save the extra money for the truck breakdown that eventually, you know, is going to happen. It's definitely harder in the owner-operator world. But I've been watching a lot, actually listening a lot of Dave Ramsey. You know, his YouTube notification will come up and I'll just listen to it. And it really gets you in the mindset of preparing for the future and not living beyond your means, you know. I know a couple of owner-operators that have gone out and bought all these great toys, but, you know, I kind of wonder what kind of money they have for retirement. You know, what's the backup plan if they were to break their ankle or something like that, you know? Whenever someone says anything about the YouTube drama, I feel that you're short-sighted and not seeing their underlying purpose. They're hoping that all the drama will get them a reality TV show. I see that, Frank. You know, it's fun to watch. You know, don't get me wrong. I watch all of it, but at the same time, I don't get emotionally involved in it. You know, there's so much hatred out there. You know, it's kind of like watching a football game with two teams that you don't care about. You know, that's kind of what it's like to me. So, UConn, what's up? Oh, you'll be in Springfield Channel? Cool. Burger says I put aside $250 a month towards that, at least something until my wife goes back to work. That's cool. Right, Adam Gallagher says if truck is paid, you funnel extra cash to your fund. That's why I truly believe that a truck is never paid off. You know, people say, well, you know, paid off truck's the golden goose. It's never paid off. Because by that time truck gets to 1,000,000 miles, you know, you're going to start repairing things. And if you got a classic 379 or W9 or something like that, you're not going to go out and buy a new truck. You're going to, you know, do an overhaul. And, you know, that's $20,000. So if you don't have that money saved up, you know, now you're doing payments again. And of course, you know, the maintenance on an older vehicle becomes incredibly important. You're going to start, you know, rubber and plastic starts wearing out. And, you know, you're always putting money into that truck. And Jeff has definitely championed the argument that, if you get a truck with warranty or a lease truck, you get more write-offs and you can use the warranty. The warranty is key. Yeah, Jeff said it best, truck's only a tool and you're always paying on it. And there's nothing wrong with having pride in your ride or anything like that. It's the truck is a tool, just like a backhoe. Think about a contractor that does backhoe work. He's not, he might wash it to make sure he looks professional, but he's not like putting chrome bits on it, because it's a tool, and it's more important to keep that money of that vehicle running, there's a couple of decorative things that I'd like to get, but I can't justify the cost because I need to get a PM done on the truck, and then, and I need to get a couple of things paid off first. He doesn't live in the backhoe. That's true. I know Roscoe's goal is to pay off his truck and run it till the wheels fall off, and that's great. That's great. Me, I'm kind of in the middle. I like the route that Jeff has done with the full maintenance lease, but I also like the route of, what if the truck's paid off? Now, that was the goal with the Peterbilt, except that I wasn't 100% happy with the Peterbilt. So I felt that putting more money into it when I was still unhappy was not a good move. Like, I looked at getting those wooden floors put in because they're really nice, and it's about $1,800 to do. But if the engine's got issues, then spending $1,800 just for something interior is not a good idea. I always kind of want that $20K for sun maintenance bill so you can get back on the road and earn the money to restore the balance in that fund, right? So, this truck here, I really like my truck. So, we'll see how it's running at the end of the note. So, and that's usually the goal. You might want to try to get a year or two of no payments, but then you're still stacking that money. So, but Alan G, what's up? Now, Burger, I've offered to let you come to Missouri, hang out here, eat spaghetti, and there is a ton of property out here that you can put a full tractor and trailer, pole barn, a lot of acreage away from people, because we know how much you love people, for a third of what you're going to pay for half that in Pennsylvania. I don't know why you won't come over here. I know the Keystone is your cornerstone, blah, 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 whatever you say. I kind of tune you out once you say Pennsylvania. But there's a lot of good property out here. You want me to start sending real estate notices? What did Cousin It say? I missed it. Screaming Demon, I think it's consistent. Consistently and discipline is putting money away. I've been putting 8% into a company 401k. I'll have a nice retirement. There you go, Cousin It. Discipline is the biggest part. Talk to Roscoe and how much money he puts back. I think Roscoe's doubling the money that I'm making right now because, he's a hard worker and he's putting a big chunk of that away. And I commend him for it because, it takes a lot of willpower to do that. Although he did buy some chrome, so he knows how to spend a little bit too. The keystone is the cornerstone of the wheel alignments. There it is, cousin it. There it is. Air Vaquero, I think everybody's good, man. Go refresh it. Gear Grabber says, I come visit you in Missouri, burger and eat spaghetti. There you go, man. We'll have a party over here. At one time, we had 3 like trucking guys in Missouri. Of course, you know, I didn't get to hang out with the other 2, but we were there. Big John, what's up? And Harold, whenever you go to watch this, I'm still working on that vlog. I've not opened my computer at all since I've been home. I've been bad. Mike Tucker, what's up? Bugatti the Trucker, what's up? So, if there's any other topics you guys wanna talk about, I think there was something. I'm surprised one person's only asked me about the thumbnail. I think that's kind of funny. The stocks are risky. Like I said, CPAP had a really good video about investing. It really opened my eyes on all the things. I've been talking to Jeff and another friend about investing, but we got to get there first. We're doing all right, Mike Tucker. We're doing all right. There you go, guy. What it is, it's an airsoft gun. I just thought it'd be something cool to play with, and the kids dig it, so it's been fun. I got the little plastic BBs, and I use it to guard the wife's garden from squirrels. Let's talk about wrestling. Me and CPAP are fascinated with Paul Bearer right now. I do not keep up at wrestling at all. Like at all. My dad and I used to get WrestleMania. We'd rent it, you know, like the pay-per-view every time it came out. But I don't know, we just kind of grew out of it. Got to get to Missouri. Where's that at? LOL. Haven't done much in stocks, more than mutual funds. Stocks scare me at times. Big Road. Burger, did you go over to Like Trucking? Gear Grabber. Right now, bud. Right now. It's funny. Harold and I have been talking about guns, right? So Harold's been actually educating me a lot about it, right? So today I texted him a picture similar to the thumbnail. I left out the orange tip. You know, there's a reason why I put that orange tip. Just to see if I could fool him. Of course, you know, on this side he got the sticker, you know. And, you know, this side, oh, look, it's a real 1911. Oh, you know, it even says stainless, right? And he's like, oh, wow, dude, cool. So I had to fess up. So I sent him the picture of, like, the magazines and the little BB things and the pellets. He just laughed. He's like, what are you doing, man? It's like, it's fun for the kids, you know. And, you know, because I was like, I'm really liking this 1911. And he was just, like, laughing. Undertaker. Once I quote I once heard, wrestling ballet with blood. Burger is still at the pumpkin. Demon is not scared of death. But yeah, Gear Grabber, I'm ready to go town, man. I'm ready. There's a lot of ranges up here, man. So, you know, what's cool is I've been reading up. I even got, like, don't laugh, guys, but I got one of these. And, man, guns are expensive. I had no idea. Like I was like reading the thing about the Bear Custom 1911, $3,000. The other thing I read while I was camping was this. You guys are gonna laugh, okay? You guys ready? This is a good book. For you old school BMXers, you know who this is. And yeah. Jim, I'm in Missouri. Unless you're talking to Gear Grabber, he's in Michigan. Yeah, like I said, everybody go back to CPAP's channel. He did a video about investments a while back. That'll work, Gear Grabber. That'll work. We'll even make you dinner. I've got a lot of friends in the world. I did buy a Smith & Wesson. You guys want to see that? There you go. The Smith & Wesson knife. Only paid $10 for this at Bass Pro. My other folder knife died on me. I'll do another one, Steve, maybe this week about M1 Finance. That'd be great, because that's obviously a topic that people are curious about. Gear Grabber is a light fleet driver, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Switchblades for me. Yeah. There's an event similar to Comic-Con that comes through Springfield. Well, actually it goes through Branson now. Every year called VisionCon, and every year there's a knife dealer who has some really good stuff. You know, everything from like Lord of the Rings swords to katanas to little tiny pocket knives. You know, those canes that actually turn into blades. You know, that kind of thing. Have you seen the fish at Bass Pro yet? Which ones? I've hauled the fish for Bass Pro, Shadow Wolf. So. Sub CPAP, I'll check out. You throw it up and have a look for the other video on investing Steve mentioned. Yeah, it was kind of one of those moments in his video where it just kind of was brought up, and then he kind of went off into the subject. And there was a lot of things that I didn't know. I don't know the first thing about investing. So, you know, I think that if you can find somebody that will simplify the terms. You know, years ago, I remember there was an interview on that show that everybody loves to hate, Freewheeling, but they were interviewing the old bass player, I think it was, or the old drummer of Guns N' Roses. And he actually wrote a book, and I'd have to find it. He actually wrote a book that simplified how to use the stock market to your advantage. And what he does is he kind of dumbs down a lot of the terminology and simplifies it. Because, you know, face it, what is the difference between, you know, well, what's the difference with anything? You know, you got people that you know, information is what you need. So, you know, why do I not invest in the stock market? Well, because I don't know anything about it. You know, and you can't learn it by watching the news, you know. Steven Adler, maybe, it might be him. But I know one, I always get the drummer and bass player mixed up. I know one, like, almost died of drug overdose, and the other one went on to write a book. And this is, you know, now their reunion, you know, I think they're all together except for maybe Izzy, but, you know, I'd have to look. But I remember the interview because it was when I first started trucking, you know. Probably only put teams in that run. Yeah, the run that I did, Shadow Wolf, was back in the paper days, and Macon, Georgia is where it went. It went from here to Macon, where they got a distribution center, and they only gave you 24 hours to do it. So legally, you get about 600 miles, usually about to Jackson, Georgia, or just south of Atlanta. And then legally, you would finish off. And that's, so if you left at 5 p.m., they wanted it there by 5 p.m. the next day. Red line. Roscoe had a Chrome Mongoose way before they were in Walmart junk. You're thinking about Duff McKagan, the bass player. Maybe, yeah, Greg C. Right, Screaming Demon. The smart rock stars invest their money because they know it's not going to last forever. And Bruce Dickinson is a very smart individual. They have live well, Maria. What did Maria say? How do you haul live fish? Oh yeah, they're oxygenated tanks, and you have to have them there pretty quickly. Prime was from Miami to Springfield in their special trailers. One truck hauled some sharks, I heard. Wow, that'd be a good place to get sharks, I guess, with Miami. But I imagine, going through Florida. Florida, you got to go through those. You got to have. Got to go through those stations that, if you're, I imagine it's the same thing as hauling agriculture, livestock, maybe, I don't know. So, but yeah, I think Pale Rider TV, he did an interview with the driver, and I talk about my story of hauling Bass Pro Fish. So instead of telling it here, just go to Pale Rider TV's channel, which I believe, Pale Rider, if you're still watching, I haven't seen any comment, is going to go live after this. If you're still in here and you're not, you need to speak up. So I don't have a bunch of people going, "Where's Pale Rider at?" Because I understand you're probably not feeling 100%. So. But anyways, what else is going on, guys? Because if nothing else going on, we're going to end this live feed. Which my phone just informed me that I'm getting low on battery power. What am I drinking? A Smirnoff Ice screwdriver. How's the book? The Rad book? It's pretty good. Bill Allen's a very unique character. He's actually got a lot of good friends up in Hollywood. And he's been in some significant stuff. He had a story about how he was born on the 4th of July. He started off as a character, but then he ended up being demoted to an extra. And I think for the longest time he did not embrace that movie, Rad. But once he saw that old guys like me that wanted to relive their past loved the movie and still follow a lot of the old school BMXers that were in that movie, I think he kind of embraced that. And now his career is basically running with the guys from like Martin Aparijo and Eddie Fiola and that whole crowd, the old school BMX crowd, and basically promoting their shows and touring with them. And he's embraced it. He even came out with his bike right there. I think that a bike company actually put that out. I forget the name of the company. Like a replica. Because a lot of these guys are going back and they're buying for you guys that don't know anything about BMX, you're not going to understand the next few things I'm going to say, but like if you can find an old school Harrow Master, like an 86 Harrow Master, and you can, the thing is now is that you fix them up with all original parts like a car. Like if you're building a 69 Camaro, right? And they charge outrageous money for these replicas, or for these, rebuilds is what they call them. Like they'll scour the earth for, you know, original peregrines and gyros and you know, the color coordinated parts and everything, you know, the red line flight cranks, you know, and there's money to be made. So to the point that Haro has put out new Haro Master frames in 24 and 26 inch bikes and that kind of thing. So Edward the dog, how come? How come what? So Pale Rider TV might actually catch you live. Yeah, okay, Pale Rider is going live, so he's probably waiting for me to end this feed. We'll cut it at an hour or at 50 minutes. So what Bill Allen has done is he has embraced this community of old guys like me that want to relive our past and are rebuilding the bikes and wanting to, you know, get into the whole rad thing. And there was even a Hell Track race this year, I believe. New old stock, right. Moderators, Edward the dog too is cool. He's my son. He's alright. So don't think he's a troll. Try paying $4,000 to $5,000 for an all original 86 BMX, Frank. Yep, and you know, and here's something. There's a guy that was here locally that had like a bunch of high dollar bikes, enough that he probably could have retired off of them, and he sold all of them before this craze even started. And I imagine he's kicking himself now. So, like, he had one of Mike Buff's original CWs. You know, I'm friends with Woody Itzen on Facebook, Dave Nuri, Wendy Osborne. You know, R.L. Osborne has been kind of MIA. Eddie Fiola's got too many friends, but you can follow him. And Martin Aparijo is the same way. But I actually bought that. My wife got that book for me because I was interested in it. It's been pretty cool. So I think he's the only actor embracing that movie because Hal Needham, that's the other thing, Hal Needham directed that movie. And so, you know, there's a lot of stunts in there that were kind of like, I don't know if Hal was drunk or just not into it, you know. But if you guys don't know who Hal Needham is, he's the one that directed the Smokey and the Bandit movies. I had an old 76 dirt bike. I think it was a 400 Honda or something like that. Not sure. I got a farm auction for 25 when I was 16. I don't know. But you're all right, Edward. You're all right. No need to take your comments off. I've got a Zuder Swift, all original, pretty much one of the low serial number picks on my page, screwed up and painted it like my truck for a truck show. I have, you know, that's what's crazy, man, is like, you can go to Walmart and buy a fully equipped freestyle bike, you know, complete with pegs, everything. And I remember back in the day, you had to really, like, work to get those parts, you know. You had to custom order them sometimes, or you had to, like, mail order them, you know. And now you can just go to Walmart, you know. I know Roscoe mentioned about Mongoose being junk, but for a while I had this job where I was building bikes for different stores like Walmart, Target, and stuff. I would come there as a contractor, and I would come in and I would you know, build these bikes. I would take them out of the box and put them together, and you know, some of those Mongoose bikes are actually pretty decent, you know. I mean, you know, and bikes have gotten crazy expensive. I remember SoCal doing a video where he was looking at some bikes, just a regular, like, you know, 26 inch, and he was looking at bikes that were $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000 bicycles. And yeah, that was the other thing. If you know, John Shepard says Mongoose Haro like 800 to 1,000 in the 80s and 90s. Back then, those bikes ran about 400 or 500, but usually you were building them from the ground up. You know, I remember the last bike I owned was, you know, before I turned completely to music, was a Haro Master. It was an '88 Haro Master. That had the skid guard on the bottom tube, and I ordered that frame, just the fork and frame, from a company out of Bridgeton, Missouri. I forget what it was. Spokes? No, that wasn't. No, that's the name of the local track. Anyways, and then I had to put different parts on it. You know, I couldn't afford all the, like, just buy a Haro Master outright. You know, and that was back for the internet and everything. So in Phoenix, Arizona, it was a lot easier to get a hold of this stuff. But in Springfield, Missouri, it was not. There was only one bike shop in town that had all that stuff. Even old Mongoose BMX still sells for close to $2,000 original 1980 to 86. Yeah, Frank, it's ridiculous. My friend had a bike called Skyway in the early 90s. That bike was something else. Yeah, Skyways were awesome. Burger says, I don't know anything about BMX, but I loved riding my bike when I was a kid. Yeah, that's how I got around. You know, that was freedom, was having that bike, you know. That's the way I was too, Danny. You couldn't keep me off the bike. That was my grounding. If I got in trouble, you can't ride your bike for 2 weeks, except to school and back. And I was like, it killed me, man. It was brutal. You know, now riding a bike is extremely uncomfortable when you're a 350-pound dude. But I do have bikes. I do have a BMX freestyle bike. It's Specialized, I think, and then I have one of the Mongoose 26-inch bikes. We used to make choppers out of bicycles when we were kids, right? Pale Rider TV. You know, when I was in Arizona, a lot of the people of the Hispanic community would put chain steering wheels on bicycles. That was a trip to see. And the lowrider bicycle community they do some wild stuff to their bikes. Sticking your foot between the fork and front tire trying to figure out how to do an endo. There you go, man. There you go. John Shepard, you know it. You know it. Especially when the seat literally penetrates you. Roscoe, you just don't know how to set up your seat. Roscoe, let me tell you a trick. If your seat was penetrating you, you're doing it wrong. Just saying. You did it wrong. So, Matt Hoffman. Matt Hoffman is a god. I got to meet him in person one time. You like that, Roscoe? You like it when I had to bring you guys close and like just lay it all out there, you know. Put it all out there. This is the ugly truth. This is the hard pill to swallow. But yeah, I was an avid BMXer. Your turn to shower. All right, John Shepard. Have fun. Don't be bunny hopping in that shower. So, Micro Machine in the house. What's up? Stu. That's the topic for Roscoe's channel on Roscoe's time. I remember jamming old milk carton under the forks and trying to make it sound like an engine, says Steve Berger. Nowadays, you can custom build a bike, ordering all custom parts from frame the chain. Right. And it's easy. You get everything online. You know, I remember like half the stores here when I moved here hadn't even heard of BMX freestyle. Oh, Pale Rider. Pale Rider says maybe Roscoe wanted it set up wrong. Pale Rider's going to create a a drama thing with Roscoe from Like Trucking. High-rise handlebars and a banana seat. Michael P., I had one of those old Schwinn Stingrays that had the gear shift and the banana seat. And man, I hated that bike because when it was locked up at school, people would just mess with the gear shift because it's like, oh my God, I've never seen a bike with the gear shift, you know? And it was just like, I hated that, you know? Now it's a collector's item. So it's like, okay. When I was riding it, it was junk and everybody wouldn't leave me alone. And now it's a collector's item. My, how the world changes. Roscoe may have had it set right for him. He does go to the closet from time to time. Harold and Banjo's dueling. We used to clip a card on the spokes to make the clicking noises. Now, check this out. When we were camping, these kids ride bikes with color lights that were on the spokes. It was cool. It was neat. So, but all right, we're at an hour and my phone's about to die. So, thanks for watching. This has been a good weekend live. We didn't really talk about anything important. And again, that's what these live feeds are for, just chit-chatting. It's the new CB radio. Frank. Oh, I can't help you, Frank. See a lot of those light-up bikes at Burning Man. That's cool. But guys, be safe out there if you're working this weekend. There's a lot of people that don't normally ride the interstate that are on it. And everybody's, self-absorbed in what they need to do. They're not looking out for the trucks. They're not looking out for the motorcycles. They're just doing what they want to do. So if you're not running this weekend, have a good weekend. And I will be back on the road Tuesday. So you guys take it easy. See you later. Sayonara. Shadow Wolf, next time you're in Springfield, hit me up. Gear Grabber will definitely pick a time to hang out. And then everybody, after this video ends, go to Pale Rider TV and go check out his live feed. So Pale Rider, you're up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.